Guys, I know you've been talking about Lamar Jackson. Well, let's tease something for a second. Desmond Ritter's future is a little uncertain. In other words, we're kind of hinting that we're going to get Lamar Jackson, guys. Can you delete that post real quick? What's going on, Falcons fans? Logan here. Welcome back to Rise Up Rundown. And if you're new here, welcome. Oh boy, it is time to spill the freaking tea on Lamar Jackson, as in my thoughts on Lamar Jackson. So this is one of the more interesting topics that I've ever wanted to talk about with you all. Because, I mean, our whole time with Rise Up Rundown, most of the time was kind of just the same old Matt Ryan, Julio Jones era. And then entering 2022, I just was like, oh my gosh, where the heck is this team going? Like, we have like Marcus Mariota and whatnot. But now this is like the first time where like I actually am talking about the fact that we could get a big name quarterback. And it's just so interesting. But will we though? Because I know the Ravens, as I record this today, they have fired Greg Roman, or I don't know, or did he choose to leave or did they fire him? I don't know. But anyway, Greg Roman is not a Raven. And then I guess like Lamar Jackson's like gonna help the Ravens find an offensive coordinator or something. And so I don't know. I guess basically the Ravens and Lamar Jackson are interested in working together. So I guess maybe the title of the video should have been, can the Falcons get Lamar Jackson? But let's just assume that maybe these crazy like Lamar Jackson trade rumors do come true. And the Falcons apparently, according to Falcons fans, I don't know if this is actually true or not, but they're saying that the Falcons are the front runners to get Lamar Jackson if he does get traded. I don't know if that's true or not. Maybe they're just kind of making that up, but I don't know. So this is it's obviously huge because Lamar Jackson is a big name quarterback, and there's three pros as to why I understand why getting him would be a good idea. But I guess kind of a spoiler alert is there's also three cons to getting Lamar Jackson, to where I ultimately am going to have to say I'm out on getting Lamar Jackson, to be honest. But I'll go over why I understand it. For one thing, let's go over the obvious. He's Lamar Jackson. He's a very talented, big name quarterback. Won MVP not too long ago in 2019 and had that big year. And then he's still a good quarterback. And yeah, I think the team likes to play for him, has a great connection with his head coach, John Harbaugh, and his Ravens team. So I guess basically what I'm saying is he's a team player. And I'm not denying that if you got Lamar Jackson to the Falcons in 2023, he probably would make us a playoff team. So already you're kind of like, why are you in denial? And then the second thing is, yes, the Falcons are $70 million in cap, which I believe is like the second highest in the league or so. But I know the Falcons have money. And even though Lamar Jackson, if he does get traded, he probably is going to demand a lot. But it's, the Falcons would have enough money, right? Like they would definitely have enough money to get him. And it's not like there's no reason to get him. Desmond Ridder, we do like him, but like you still would at least think about Lamar Jackson. Let's kind of be honest. But I'll also go over why you shouldn't do that in a second. And then the third thing is, I think that this team is really not like that far away from being at least a playoff team. Everyone thinks that this roster is just so like far behind. They're really not. Like, they're overachieving every year. I mean, they're not like this great team, but hey, like people forget like at one point the Falcons were first place in the NFC South last year. They overachieved back-to-back years. Like, I don't even think people expected us in 2021 to get 7 wins. We have a dominant run game. Caleb McGarry and the offensive line really took off. We have surprise players like Caleb McGarry and Cordero Patterson, Tyler Algier. Like, this team has talent. AJ Terrell and Grady Jarrett, like, they're really not that far away from at least being a playoff team. And with year 3 coming in for Arthur Smith and Terry Fontenot, I do think that the expectation for from Arthur Blank for these guys is playoffs. Because year 1 and 2 is like, all right, you can get your feet wet, like, you know, first year general manager, first year head coach. And, you know, they did a great job. They drafted well, you know, they're overachieving, developing players, blah, blah, blah. But, all right, it's year 3. Like, I think it's kind of time to see us get into the playoffs. Not to mention that Tom Brady's probably going to leave the Bucs. NFC South, even with him on the Bucs, is wide open at this point. It's very early. We haven't even gotten to the divisional round of the NFL yet, but it's still looking like it's going to be wide open. And if you got Lamar Jackson in there, Falcons would probably be the front runners to be the NFC South winners. So I know, like, it's like, why in the world would you, like, not want to get Lamar Jackson? Well, every positive that I said, I have a little bit of a negative too. I'll go over the cap space. I know we have $70 million in cap. And I know Lamar Jackson is, or I mean, I guess I'm assuming, but like, he's probably going to be a quarterback that demands a lot of money, because nowadays, like, you know, NFL players just love demanding so much money, like Chandler Jones and, Ezekiel Elliott, when in reality, they don't really deserve that much money. I'm not saying they don't deserve, you know, a huge contract, but they just ask for a little more than they probably should. Now, Lamar Jackson, again, I'm kind of assuming, and by the way, I'm not saying that Lamar Jackson isn't worth a lot of money. I just hope that he doesn't ask for too much, is what I'm trying to say. And I know the Falcons have a lot of money. They can get him, and yeah, sure, like, there's the whole cap space is a myth thing. You know, we're seeing like the Saints and the Rams and the Bucs, like, they'll pay these big time players, and then suddenly it's like, wait, where did all this money come from? And they get all these players and build a team. I know the Falcons could do that, and it's funny because I actually was kind of wanting the Falcons to do that just last year when Matt Stafford got traded to the Rams. I was like, why aren't the Falcons ever being aggressive? Cap space is a myth, blah, blah, blah. But I'm just holding off because, like, you know, this team can at least be a playoff team, but they're not a Super Bowl team, right? Like, we're wanting to build, I mean, I guess at the end of the day, like, yeah, sure, like, you know, teams like the Bucs and the Rams, like, they did end up getting their goal. They won the Super Bowl, but, like, I don't know if Arthur Blank wants to only win a Super Bowl. I think he kind of wants to make sure that, you know, the fans continue to see a really good team and not just kind of like this one Super Bowl team and basically they never do anything after that. You know what I mean? Like, we have a playoff team, and maybe if we go all in on 1 year, we can win a Super Bowl, but what about the years after that? And what if we don't even win a Super Bowl if we go all in? Like, then we would be in cap hell. What I'm basically saying is, like, we need to build a Super Bowl team around Lamar Jackson. We have talent. I like the offense. The offensive line is looking good. Running back Tyler Algier, potential wide receiver 1 in Drake London, potential tight end number 1 Kyle Pitts. But what about the defense? Like, the secondary has, like, names. Isaiah Oliver, per usual, had flashes last year, but is he actually good? And then, you know, Casey Hayward is a veteran. He's not going to be there forever. AJ Terrell, I think he'll bounce back, but, you know, like, what if he doesn't? I don't know. And then we have 2 young safeties that, like, are kind of on and off, but I don't know. I'm not really feeling great about them, but not feeling terrible. Linebackers I don't love. Like, I don't know if Michael Walker's, like, you know, the guy, I guess, at linebacker. I thought we should have kept Foye Oluokun, but anyway. And then pass rush is so self-explanatory. Need pass rushers. And then we also just need a defensive coordinator. But, like, you know, we're not gonna, we can't continue to make the same mistake we've done in years past. We're like, okay, yeah, we got it, guys. Like, we built a great offense. And I still do think that this is an offensive league. I said that since 2019, but at the same time, I'm not saying that defense doesn't matter. Like, we have to build a defense. And I still think that there are some holes on offense to get as well. Like, we still got to get some more wide receivers and maybe a center, I guess, and a left guard. And, I mean, wouldn't Lamar Jackson want to, like, play for a Super Bowl team anyway instead of just a playoff team? I don't know. And I just don't know if, like, I guess that was, like, my second thing I was going to say, by the way. You know, for one thing, like, if we get Lamar Jackson, are we even going to have, like, you know, I know I said cap space is a myth, but, like, what if it's not? Like, what if we really don't have enough money to, like, get help around Lamar Jackson? And then we just kind of need to build a team. Let's build a team around Lamar Jackson. It could be a playoff team, but I don't want to be a playoff team. I want to be a Super Bowl team. And then the last thing is, like, don't we already have, like, a rookie quarterback? Like, you know, like, he didn't look great last year. I admit that. But you still want to see what he's got, right? Like, I mean, I think the team likes to play for him, and he likes the Falcons. Just at least see what you got in Desmond Ridder for like a full season. We only saw him for like 5 games or so. And if he doesn't look good last year, or if he doesn't look good next year, then sure, I guess go get a quarterback. But like, I don't know, like give him a little bit of time, like just draft really well, and maybe use all that $70 million in cap space to get veterans and some help on the defense and whatnot. And then maybe the quarterbacks in free agency could be like, you know, Atlanta looks pretty cool. So I don't know, but those are my thoughts. It's not that like if we got Lamar Jackson, I will admit, like the inner part of me would still be excited, of course, because it's like, oh wow, we got Lamar Jackson. But like, but I just basically am hoping that it could work if we got him. But I also will understand if we don't. I'm a little more towards we shouldn't, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll see you guys with a video this Tuesday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern. Love and appreciate y'all for the support, and as always, rise up.